been a while. But yeah, let's just get into it. Okay, starting the video, I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna watch myself draw from before, not drawing now. And this is a different way of doing one of these videos. Okay, good. I'm amazed that I didn't know this before, but there is a way to record the screen on iPads and iPhones. I really should have figured that out. I thought you had to have a program, but it's just like already installed on the iPhone/iPad. So that's what I'm doing. And I hope I'm gonna be lazy and not use a microphone because I don't think that microphone was picking up anything great anyways. So I'm just gonna use my AirPods and this is a new way. So I haven't made a video for like 4 months, 5 months, but I've been making a lot of artwork while I've been not making videos. So this is my thing. It's not the only thing that I do. I do chromatic aberration, and then I just go to the curves and I F up the curves and I make them crazy colors. And then you'll see in the future, I'm using Procreate right now, and I'll export the image and bring it into an app called Destroy Pics, and then I'll play around with it and you'll see. So right now I'm totally not trying to make it look good, and I'm not choosing colors with any specificity because it's all gonna get screwed up anyways. I'm just gonna screw it all up. And it's like, I don't know, this is the one thing. It's not fun for me to just draw what I see or make, realistic looking things. Like I often want to, and then I start to, and then I go, this is awful. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this anymore. And so I always have to like make up my own version of making art, and it's usually very chaotic. It's like the more chaotic the better, which is very weird because my personality, if you met me, you would not think, oh yeah, that's the guy that likes chaos. And I don't. I do and I don't. I'm having a lot of struggles in general. So I do speed up the video at a couple times because I don't really like the fact that I can't see my hand. So I don't know. Like it's fun to see it this way, but at the same time, I decided the head was too big. Play around with the curves, the gamma. I never touched the red, green, and blue. I just stick with the gamma. The gamma. I just stick with the gamma. Export, destroy pics. Like my narration. So this is what I do. I do a lot of this. This drawing, I didn't do it too much, but it's really fun. And I stick with I put it on the brush and I stick with the repeat. That's the best one. Repeat is the best. And sometimes you can walk it to vertical or horizontal, which I just did. Select to the horizontal and now vertical. And it depends on what effect I'm trying to go for. If I'm trying to make it look, what's the word? Like, if I'm trying to make it look like actually glitched, like computer glitchy, and then I had to do that to get color into it. And now I'm gonna mess with the curves again. Look at that. Wow, look at the color. Look at the color. Look at that. Like when I started to do this, when I figured out how much fun, oh man, that's the fridge. I hope it doesn't sound blow out. So when I started to do this, I started listening to weird music recently on Spotify, and there is this one album, and I like the cover art of a lot of these albums. I like the music too, the music's good. And I think one is called like Lolly in her 20s, or Lolly in 20s, or something like that. And I just like really liked, it's sort of like in between ugly and pretty, the aesthetic of this. And that's kind of what I like, the aesthetic of the album cover. And the same thing with like, there's a lot of like glitched, I got into like a lot of glitch artwork. And I started to learn how to do a program where you can code it, and then you can screw with the coding, and that glitches it. And I might go back and try to learn more about that kind of thing. But for right now, I just use something like Destroy Pics, which it gives me the aesthetic, because that's really what I'm most into anyways. I don't need it to have some like, I don't know. I kind of wanted to have a little bit of coding so I can be like super cool. I can be like, I coded this, guys. I coded this artwork. And then everyone can be like, wow, you're so smart. You coded something. And that's very important to me. And I got into the glitch stuff from NFT stuff. And see, this is the interest. Like, I try to just let my mind do whatever it wants. Like, I'm trying to think less and less with my art, especially with like these kind of artworks. Just don't think, just make. I decided to make her head like she's going like, wow. She's getting pushed back, or even just like, just looks weirdly surreal. I'm always going for that. I'm like, listen, here's the truth. Surreal is easy. It's easy to do surreal. You just do weird stuff. And then I decided her hair made more sense being blown back, since the neck was like this. It's like her head's falling off her body. And that thing above, the like the weird plant flower thing, like I said, I'm just trying to do whatever pops into my head. And the truth is, the way that this, my new process, the way that it works is by letting everything that you've done so far be destroyed. So anything, so it's sort of like there's a process of building and then destroying and building and destroying and building and destroying. And so a lot of what I'm doing, I don't even know if it's going to be, I don't even know if it's gonna like be there at the end. Like I kind of assume, well, I mean, I do assume the head's gonna be there, the person's gonna be there, that tree, the eyes, the clouds, but in what way they're gonna be there, I don't know. I think that, yeah, this is sped up. I don't draw that fast. And I also sped it up because a lot of the process of doing these kind of things, this style that I'm doing, at least right now, like I said, it's a building up, destroying, building up. And so a lot of it's just me kind of redrawing over previously drawn stuff, just like tracing the drawing and maybe adding a little bit more, taking a little bit away, that kind of thing. So I do choose different colors. That's partially because I figure a different color will come out differently when I do the curve thing. But it'll also I don't know, I can't help it. I can't help but pick different colors and try different things. I haven't figured out, I mean, playing with the curves for right now, is that what it's called? It's called the curves? Playing with the gamma, playing with the curves. It's so random that I have no idea what's gonna happen. And like you see, I just drew over that previous thing there, and it doesn't matter. Because a lot of it gets lost anyways as I go on, which it frees you up a lot doing stuff like that. Just going, it's not gonna matter anyways. These are my raining inside clouds that I started doing. I feel bad about I don't feel bad about it, but I made my name, I believe my channel is called Raining Inside ASMR, right? Yes. So I made that's my artist name. And people took it as very sad. I didn't mean it as sad. They're like, oh, you're a sad person, aren't you? I'm like, yes, but also, I'm insane. It was more to do with like, I don't know. It had a lot, there's a lot of reasons for my name. And I got into Twitter Spaces one time and tried to talk about it. And I did not like the response that I got. And I wasn't very good at talking about it either. I always feel rushed when I'm in speaking situations. I don't feel rushed right now because I'm talking to you and you're really special to me. Sorry. I feel like I can just be myself with you. It's really amazing. See, once again, just drawing over what I've already drawn over. I'm starting to get hot. I turned off my air conditioning so that I could do this in pure silence. But my fridge keeps speaking. But I use different layers. that's also so I'm trying to control the the outcome a little bit more. Like as time goes on, like I don't want it to, obviously I don't want it to be completely destroyed. Like I'm spending some amount of time, and the whole drawing from beginning to end took about 55 minutes, and sped up. I got it reduced to it's about 30 minutes when I, the video at least. That disappears. I decided to have a tree growing out of her head, and for the most part it disappears. You don't really see it at the end. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert for what the video looked, or the final image is. I did notice when I was uploading videos, I think I did get less views on my iPad artwork stuff than my just regular drawings. I think maybe the thumbnail looks better if it's just a regular drawing. Honestly, I like that tree just the way that is. I could just see the image of the tree, just get rid of all that other stuff. My trees are so weird. Like I don't know that trees look like this. My trees are like weird fantasy trees. And that's okay. Okay, that's not. And see, like I said, just draw over it, draw over it, draw over it. I need to play with the curves or do something, get out of this. That's one thing that I've actually had to try to like get myself out of doing is, see, it's not that great. I need to bring in the chromatic aberration. That's one thing I learned. There you go. There you go. Good job. I'm a smart guy. One thing I learned is if the colors aren't playing, if they're not doing enough weird stuff, then I need to do some chromatic aberration. And then I need to, and I think I do it soon, I need to just not have it be line art. That's a problem that I have. There you go, shading it all in. But, yeah, when it's line art, it doesn't do what I need it to do. But as a person that draws more than I paint, I'm used to line art more than like thinking in a, I don't know, whatever you would call it, thinking in a non-line art way, a painting way. This one. Okay, you can delete that part, me. I think I did delete some of the video. I kept shading in her face and playing with the curves and trying to get it to change, and it just wasn't working, anything that I did. So I just kept going backwards in time, and because you got the undo. That's the great thing, you got the undo button on Procreate. So yeah, the other thing, like that right there, like the ear is way too high up. But you know what? Like, the way that this all works, it works by not giving a fuck. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I said a bad word. It works by just not caring and just going, okay, well, I'll destroy it later anyways. And it's just it's nice to not have to plan too much. I mean, there have been times when I've done it and I have developed a plan while I was doing it. And I've got, like, that was a bit of a plan. Like, I realized if you shade it and then play with the curves, it gives it much different visual than the other kind of the brush that I typically use with a lot of that line art. It's like the sketch pencil. And so this is now a different. This is one of the paintbrush tools. And now I'm just smudging it. Getting smudgy. And you can see the eye. When I do the curves, the eye looks a lot different. Looks a lot different than the rest of it. So these are tiny little things I'm learning as I play, because that's what art's about. It's about playing. It's not about making anything good. It's about playing. Chromatic apparition. Ooh, see the eye there? I'm still just playing, trying to figure out. You know, it's funny because, like, a lot of times with this, sometimes I like really making it ugly, but a lot of times I'll have like two different color, like I'll see two different colors, shapes, and not shapes, colors, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then I'll have to choose between the two. And doing this kind of like combats my perfectionism a little bit. It doesn't get rid of all of my perfectionism. I don't know why the image got really small there. It doesn't get rid of it. It's funny because in my real life, I struggle a lot with perfectionism and like everything. I love to tip today, and I don't know if I want to tip here, because it's very weird, because I'm in Thailand right now, and there's not a tipping culture in Thailand, but because I'm a foreigner, they have come to expect tips, and I'm just never sure what a good tip is, and I don't want to be like, here's a penny for a tip, but I don't want to be like, here's too much. I kind of gave too much. I worked it out later in my head. No, on a calculator. Why would I tell you it was in my head? I worked it out later, and I gave them a 30% tip. And it was 50 cents. I gave them 50 cents. So it's not like I dropped cash, but it's just my perfectionism, and I might have like obsessive compulsive personality disorder. That's my latest idea about what's wrong with me. But my perfectionism literally like causes me to just obsess over just tell me what the rule is. If there was a rule, I know in America you can say it's 15%, right? But in America, tipping's gotten crazy in America too. You go to a Starbucks and they're like, here's a tip jar. You go anywhere, they're like, here's tips. And it's hard because I worked. So that's another thing I like. If I make the repeat, if I make the distance bigger, it gives a much different effect, and it's like pretty cool. And it kind of goes along with a lot of what I've been doing a lot recently, which is just like playing around with patterns and repeating patterns, and it's also kind of glitchy repeating. And it's also kind of what I've been playing around for a long time, which is just like, not like a psychedelic experience, but like, an otherworldly experience, ephemeral experience. I mean, you see it in like Thai temples and stuff. You actually see a lot of repeating patterns, and because I'm sure that they probably meditated back in the day until they were getting into trippy feelings and stuff. But like I said, this kind of combats, knowing that I'm going to destroy what I'm making frees me up, and it also combats my perfectionism. I just can kind of play, which I can't do in real life. Because I was beating myself up over this whole tip thing. Like, it's partially because I'm cheap, but it's not just because I'm cheap. Like, it's way more than just being, it's like, just tell me the rule of society, and at least then I'll know what I'm supposed to do. It's sort of, because I was thinking about making this video and what I would talk about. And I thought if I didn't know what to talk about, I would talk about this, which is like, I love that. I love the eyes like melting like that. And I lost exactly what I was about to say. Wow. I realized getting towards the end of it. I keep the stuff at the bottom keeps disappearing, because unlike every other program that's like about drawing and stuff, you would double tap with your fingers to undo, but you don't do it in Destroy Pics. You actually have to tap the undo. So I keep, but what it does is when you do double tap, is that it disappears the stuff, the options, and I always forget. So I smoothed that out too to make it, you'll see, it looks very nice when I do the curves at the end. It's getting hot in here. So yeah, my perfectionism sucks. I was beating myself up over the money, even though it was like nothing, you know. Good for them, they get to keep the cash, you know what I mean? And again, it's 20 baht. I don't know if that's, I don't know if 50 cents is a lot. That's the other thing. How much is a lot? Am I giving the equivalent of a dime to them? Am I giving the equivalent, or am I giving, you know? And I've worked for tips, so it's like, if someone gave me $1, I'm like, okay, I'll take $1. But if somebody gives me 5, I'll be like, wow, 5, and I have no idea what the version of that is here. I have no idea, so I have no idea what to do. You know, I hate it. I hate not knowing. So I was gonna say the rules. Like, I learned art rules, right? I learned shape. I learned color. I learned placement, you know, and of different things and how they all relate to each other and all of that. I learned that, right? And they say when you're drawing and making art and learning to make art they say you got to learn the rules before you can bend the rules or break the rules or whatever. And I agree with that for the most part. For the most part. But the thing is, like, that's society too. I'm such a perfectionist, and I've also been. I don't believe I'm autistic, but I do. I do. OCPD overlaps a lot with autism. It's not. It's not the same because I can read people's emotions. I can understand my own. I don't have that problem. But I do have a problem with, like, whoa, oh, I had to, the whole thing froze up on me. And that happens when you're playing with the curve so much. That's happened a lot of times. But it saves it right before, so it's okay. I don't have those problems, but I don't know how to respond to people, and I'm very often like a robot with people when I'm interacting face to face. Like, I mask up, and that's an OCPD thing where you're masking up because you're so perfectionistic. You're trying to do everything right. You're trying to make the interaction right. You're trying to make the tip right. You're very stiff around people. It's fucking annoying. But the crazy thing is that when I figured it out, I learned about it on Reddit, and I just happened to stumble into. I'm subscribed to a lot of psychological subreddits because I'm interested in it and because I'm screwed up. And I learned about it. And I learned about something called radically open dialectical behavioral therapy. And from the OCPD subreddit. And when I went to look at that, because I wasn't realizing what OCPD was. When I looked into that, then all of a sudden I was like, holy, all of the stuff that RODBT is telling you that they're helping you to fix, or whatever you call it, these are all my problems. Wait, what the F? These are my problems. So, that was good. I made her head bigger. And it needed that. I haven't done it yet. I made everything bigger. But now I'm gonna there you go. Made her head bigger, moved it over. It covers up a lot, but I think the head needed to be. I don't know. Now I'm not sure. But that's the end. Okay, that's the end. This is the end. And that's how it is. Alright, wow. I think I got a bit whiny at the end. But I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk about my problems. That's what I'm about. I'm about having problems and having my problems be very weird. Like obsessing over a tip. The thing is, like, other people don't tip. Because I did look. But I was like, I couldn't tell. Are they Chinese? Are they Thai? Because then it's like, well, Thai people aren't tipping because that's what they don't tip. But are they expecting me to tip because I'm a foreigner? Are they expecting me? I got 25 baht back in change. I took the 5 baht. And when I left, I was like, damn it, I should have taken the 20. I should have left the 5. Because again, if you're not, I don't know, and I don't want to tip, so I don't want to be a cheap foreigner. But at the same time, I'm here because I'm a cheap foreigner. you know? And when the food itself cost, like, what did it cost? $2? When the food is costing $2, giving 50 cents, and it was like $1.75. Giving 50 cents is a 30% tip. I'm sorry, I'm really obsessing about this. It's always something. I'm always dealing with something. I hope you liked my video. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you enjoyed my talking and ranting. And yeah, I'll try and make another one soon. It was a lot easier to do it this way with the iPad. But if I have it in me, I'll try to do it. I think it looks better when I'm drawing, like when I'm actually drawing, when I'm drawing with actual pencil and everything. But I don't know. We'll see.